Guys, yet again we have another chapter of Black Clover that for the real fans of the series is completely heartfelt and touching. With the previous chapter, the Black Bulls bulldozed their way into Morris's inner sanctum in pursuit of their stolen captain Yami. And on account of the intel Dante had previously provided him, Morris was very fascinated by this group, as among them were two arcane stage mages, which really made him want to satisfy himself by dissecting them. But as he lashed out against them, we would have the reveal of Gray's true magical attribute, which as opposed to being transformation magic, was in fact transmutation magic, which allowed her to turn the Devil Host's attacks into harmless flowers. And thanks to Gauch's mirror magic, she was able to do the very same to all the tendrils simultaneously. And so to overcome this hurdle, Morris opted to use the magic of his supreme devilish patron, Lucifero, by pressuring them all with gravity magic, a fundamental force which could not be transmuted. But unfortunately for him, Gordon had returned and now had a newfound control over his magic, which allowed him to turn the overwhelmingly draining curse of Henry into power. As suddenly the mana of Morris would be stolen and drawn into the giant bull, as it would then pulverize the scientist. To follow, the remaining Black Bulls would flood in as well, an odd assortment that actually seemed to intimidate Morris despite having become a self-proclaimed ascended being, as they would finish him off, declaring that they were here for the captain of the Black Bulls. But before we go any further, this video is sponsored by the team behind Rise of the Elites, a rather promising and up-and-coming action thriller manga available now on Webtoons. Now, for many of us manga fans, it's pretty hard not to dream about creating our very own. I'm sure plenty of you have tons of concepts and characters you believe would make for an incredible story. However, not all of us are artists, and in most cases, it'll take more than just stick figures to get a series off the ground. With that being said, collaborating with artists you can trust to handle your passion project with care is an invaluable asset to possess. And lucky for you, the experienced team behind Rise of the Elites is offering to bring your manga creation dreams to reality by drawing your story for you. All you have to do is contact ROTE_production over on Instagram to commission them and begin your manga journey on the right foot. Now mind you, you'll want to skip the hesitation and act on this opportunity quickly, as the team is relatively small and can only handle so many clients at one time while maintaining their high quality art. Commissions are first come, first serve. Again, you'll want to contact them over on Instagram at ROTE_production and check out Rise of the Elites over on Webtoons to see what they are capable of. Links to everything will of course be in the description. Thanks again to the Rise of the Elites team for supporting the channel, but with that, let's get back to the video. With this latest chapter titled The Captain of the Black Bulls, we begin elsewhere with a young Yami taking a look at his grimoire. At the time, he suffered great prejudice on account of the dark magic he possessed, what by many was considered to be a sinister and unsettling power that was bound to bring misfortune to all that drew too close, which was most certainly a difficult existence for a child to possess, especially given the fact that he was a foreigner to begin with. He was all alone with no one, and was forced to live in abandoned and broken buildings by his lonesome. However, this would all begin to change thanks to the piqued interest of one particular man, the captain of the Grey Deer, Julius Novachrono, the man who would eventually become the 28th Wizard King of the Clover Kingdom. He was absolutely dazzled by the young boy's dark magic. He wanted to see all that it could do, as he had never seen such a power before. A sentiment which certainly caught the child off guard, as it greatly contradicted the feelings of all those he had previously encountered. From there, he would make friends with Not Faust, a local troublemaker who saw him for more than his intimidating magic and recognized him to only be playing into the role of a bad guy because it was what most people had already labeled him to be. Not, however, was not fazed and was willing to be around him. From there, Yami would join the Magic Knights and work alongside Not's twin brother, Morgan, the absolute kindest and most genuine person around, whose light magic was literally the antithesis of his dark magic. Yet even still, Morgan treated him with respect as a friend and a comrade. From there, Yami would meet all kinds of strange folks. There was Jack, captain of the Green Mantis, a rival of his who didn't care about his dark magic and simply refused to lose to him. Gueldre, the former captain of the Purple Orca, who didn't care what Yami's magic was so long as it was useful. Nozel Silva, captain of the Silver Eagle, who often disagreed with him, yet emphasized the fact that he was a foreigner as opposed to that of his magic. Figelion, the captain of the Crimson Lion, who recognized Yami's strength and spirit, considering him to be a special sort of person. His rambunctious battle junkie of a sister, Mereoleona, who was always looking for a playful fight, Owen the healer, who kindly showed concern for Yami's well-being, Charlotte, the captain of the Blue Rose, who found fault in Yami's presence as a man as opposed to anything else, and William, captain of the Golden Dawn, who he would share a mutual respect for, possessing absolutely no prejudice towards him at all, but rather a desire to protect the country and live up to the expectations of their benefactor Julius. One day, Yami would speak to Morgan and admit that it was actually pretty fun being a magic knight, as he had the chance to meet all kinds of mages, that his magic used to disturb people, but after seeing all of them, his didn't look so bad after all. Morgan would tell Yami that even the scariest sort of magic was only as good or evil as the one who wielded it, what I presume to be a sentiment he had developed on account of secretly knowing his own family to be a group of devil worshippers and hosts. But of course, at the end of the day, he knew there was good in them, and he did truly love them regardless. But yeah, despite being blunt, he believed Yami was a great judge of character with the power to bring people together, that to him, Yami was perfect for the Magic Knights, which Yami would brush off as to him, Morgan was the perfect one, and that it's people like him who should be leading people. But of course, Morgan died. As the rain poured down, sitting in front of Morgan's tombstone was Not, who'd lost his brother and entire family on account of his own hubris and devilish dealings. Yami would think back to something else Morgan had told him in the past. Morgan hated to admit it, but it seemed to him that Yami was able to understand his brother Not's feelings better than he ever could. And with that, Yami would make his declaration that one day he would create his own brigade, that all the respectable and decent folks already had people to look out for them, but the people with no luck, the people held back by circumstance, the people who had lost their way or had sinned, he believed it would be a horrible shame if they couldn't use their powers too. And so he planned on creating a place where they would be free to run wild. And as he walked on, he furthermore vowed to become stronger, strong enough to support and keep a bunch of idiots like that together, as we would then be able to see each of Yami's guild invitations, each recruitment of these idiots we all know and love to be the Black Bulls. We would then see the scene of Zenon of the Dark Triad capturing him, as his final words to his squad would be to live as they pleased. Now realizing that perhaps the one who was actually given a place to belong was him all along. We would then fast forward to him being in the presence of Morris and Zenon, as Morris would applaud dark magic to be a magic imbued with the power of the underworld, a marvelous power that would allow them to connect the two worlds, marking Yami to be the chosen one to bring death, despair, and darkness onto the mortal world. But now in the present, Morris was no more. He was utterly defeated. And so, the Black Bulls would call out to their captain, a roaring outcry that awoke the man and brought him oh so much laughter, as he would yell back to them, questioning if they truly liked him that much, which prompted them all to yell at the top of their lungs with all the passion they could muster that yes, yes they do, as Yami would now smile and admit to them that he felt the exact same way, as Not remained at a distance with all of his devils, calling them a bunch of lunatics, as we would have our long-awaited reunion of the Black Bulls. However, despite Morris's defeat, it would seem that things have not entirely concluded just yet. The final battle of this arc appears to be just over the horizon, but that was the chapter. This was such a heartfelt chapter, guys, what absolutely felt like a love letter to all the fans of the series. The Black Bulls are, at this point for me at least, one of the best protagonistic collectives in shonen today. I love these guys so much. This was an incredible chapter that truly allowed us to connect to Captain Yami like never before. If you enjoyed the chapter as well, be sure to subscribe to Plot Armor with notifications on, because when it comes to bringing you some of the best Black Clover content on the platform, Plot Armor has you covered. As always, I'm Slice of Otaku. Thank you all so much for watching and have an awesome day. I love you.